from, and it just makes sense.
Absolutely. So why don't I give you presentation control, Jamie, and I'll make you the presenter.
So should we wait till 12:30?
Sure. I don't think you need to actually kick off until you're ready, but I figure I might as well give you presentation controls now. We've got definitely a few more minutes. I'm also making sure that I'm recording this webinar this time, and I've started it a little bit early because I'd rather make sure I'm recording it than I'm missing it. I'll probably mute myself to eliminate background noise, but unmute myself as necessary. But yeah, we've still got a couple more minutes yet, and I know there's definitely some more attendees coming on. We've got about 13 people on the call right now, believe it or not.
Awesome.
And we're expecting a few more as well. So if anyone has any questions that they want to ask, I'll encourage you to use the chat window, and I'll monitor the chat window so Jamie can be free to go through the presentation. And that way, that'll just keep the audio issues down. And in fact, I might mute a few of you just to make sure that we don't have any background noise on anyone. Great. So Jamie, I don't know if oh, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Because I guess we had two Jamies on the call. One of them left the conference. But
yeah, I was connecting through my browser for a moment, and then I realized I had GoToMeeting installed on my computer, and figured that would be better.
Excellent. Yeah, I think you're right. So I know you're going to show us a little bit about the product, and I don't know if you'll have time today, but obviously we've been moving more and more products or more and more clients into QuickBooks Online. And so I don't know if you have some time to maybe show us some of the integration with third parties like QuickBooks Online and Xero, but that would be great if you could show us some of that as well. But I'll leave it up to you. And feel
that's part of the plan. So I mean, basically, what I'd like to talk about is kind of how Hubdoc can really improve the relationship between a small business owner and their accountant by eliminating a lot of the manual and kind of irritating automated tasks that can be automated to make the life better for Wall and Associates and also for all of their clients. So that's the plan, and showing the integrations is definitely part of that.
Yeah, so we're huge fans because it reduces the time for the clients, the amount of time that they've got to spend. It also gives us a set of books that we can really trust. And I love that term. I borrowed it from you guys a number of times now, audit-proof books. And having that level of documentation really stands up well with any CRA auditors. I just lost my audio.
Doc, and then give you guys a quick demo. And my assumption is that most of the people on the call are contractors and small business owners who are running their own practice. So Hubdoc, the idea is we never want your accountant to have to ask you for documents again. And the way we're going to do that is to make it super easy for you to upload your documents into your Hubdoc account with our mobile app and with these amazing robots we have that grab stuff like a Procom bill or a bank statement as an example. And so those will be a couple of the examples that I show you, and then hopefully you guys can ask questions as we go through. So like Andrew said, we're a small Canadian software company based in Toronto. We've got about 4,000 clients on our platform and growing pretty rapidly every month. So the first thing I'm going to do is log in and just show you a couple robots in terms of how our automated fetching technology works. So imagine logging into your Hubdoc account, and I'm going to show you just the accountant view at the beginning, and then I'm going to take you and show you what an individual Hubdoc account looks like and how it might work. So this would be Andrew logging in and seeing all of his clients, but let's say we're going to look at this, and I've logged in as Homer Simpson. He's a CPA. These are all of his clients. So let's take a look at one particular one, which would be, I don't know, the town of Springfield, and see if we can't show you what a few of these robots look like. So in this example, this client has opted to share his Amazon orders, American Express bills, PayPal, Rogers, Scotiabank, and TD. So Andrew mentioned Procom. So what I'm going to try and do is add a Procom. So in this example, this client wants to share their Procom information with their accountant, but of course I don't have my wife's login for Procom, so I'm not going to be able to do that one. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll share my American Express account with this particular client. So I could easily add my Amazon bill, my PayPal, anything like that. Procom's another popular one, my TD account, but I'm going to do American Express card. So in this example, this is you typing in your credentials to log into the Amex site. You hit Add Account, and the first time that Hubdoc connects to American Express, it's going to download all of your bill and statement history. And so what you're going to see is we're going to create a new folder here, and your Amex statements are going to flow in. So in this example, imagine your accountant or bookkeeper, in this case Andrew, never asking you to provide a statement again. And so that's pretty powerful in that you'll see all these statements start to flow in here. And there's the first 5. So the first time we connect, we download all the history. And then each night on a go-forward basis, what we'll do is we'll log into the American Express account and say, is there a new statement available? If there is, we'll go in and grab it, which is great, and bring it back into your Hubdoc account, and then it's immediately available for both your you and your accountant, and no one's had to log in anywhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and obviously one of the other great features is that once it's in Hubdoc, it can be actually pushed out to a number of different places, which I'm sure you're going to be going through shortly.
Yeah, I'll show that in a second. Support, of course, all the major Canadian banks. So if I look at this TD account, I'm guessing it's one of my business partners' accounts, and we're grabbing the statements. In this particular one, we've grabbed a check image that he's written to somebody. It looks like Madison. And then we also grab all of the payments that are going out of the account. So anything that's any of your e-transfers or bill payments that are going out, we're grabbing as well. So that's kind of how the bank feeds and the robots work. I'm going to quickly navigate to our actual live Hubdoc account that I use frequently to do our bookkeeping, and just show you quickly another set of features. So if I wanted to add a receipt that wasn't fetched automatically, I could easily drag and drop one up here. I could email it in. So let me just try and do that while I've got you here. I'll open up my Finder and see if I can find, oh, there's a bill from Allstream. I'm just going to drag that into Hubdoc. And now that Allstream bill is sitting here in Hubdoc, and you'll see there's a little clock beside it. So what happens now is in the next few hours, our data extraction process will run its course, and we'll figure out that this is a bill from Allstream for $791. In this particular case, I'm just going to do the data entry myself because I want you guys to see it. So it's a bill from Allstream. It's on the 10th of May, or rather it's on the 1st, and the due date's the 10th. It's $791, and there's the tax amount, all beautiful. And so I could publish that to Xero, or I could also publish it to QuickBooks Online. So I'm going to publish this one to QuickBooks Online and say that, this is my internet bill, and I hit publish. And so what happens now is you've uploaded a document to Hubdoc, and now you've sent it to your accounting platform. So let's log on to QuickBooks Online and see what that looks like. And so the real promise here is that you can kind of audit-proof your business and automate away a bunch of data entry, which is very powerful. Of course, I need to remember my passwords. So I'm going to log into QuickBooks, into my QuickBooks file, look under the expenses, and what I'll hopefully see there is that bill from Allstream has been accurately created and is ready to go and be reconciled against the bank feed or be paid. So I'm going to go to my transactions in QuickBooks Online, to my expenses, and I think this was a bill from the 1st of May, so if I go back to the 1st of May, so there's this Allstream transaction that Hubdoc has created. It's a bill, it's from Allstream. We've got the due date, the bill date as we marked it inside Hubdoc, and the actual bill we've also included when we created that transaction, so it's sitting there inside of your QuickBooks Online file in the attachments section. Any questions?
Yeah.
I think I might have actually muted most people. So if you do have a question, if you can post it out to the chat section. But I think one of the questions I have for you, Jamie, is I love all this, and obviously maybe talking about the phone app as well and how that integrates. So people can, as Jamie's demonstrated, upload transactions through the web portal where you might do batch uploads if you've got one of those Fujitsu scanners and you're doing multiple transactions at once. But what the real power that we're seeing in bookkeeping is with the mobile devices and what you can do with your cell phones. And obviously there's a picture here as Jamie's showing, and this is really one of the things that we want to educate our clients on, changing behaviors and getting in the habit of snapping that receipt while you're out at the restaurant with your friends or coworkers for that business promotion expense. You can snap that receipt, and by the time you get home, it's going to be uploaded into QuickBooks or Xero and ready to go for you automatically. And you no longer need to worry about storing that receipt because this is a valid digital supporting documentation. So it really does audit-proof your books, as Jamie says.
Yeah. To your point, Andrew, I just think as a small business owner, I just think it's so powerful. Each time that I, go, I'm just going to try and find an example. I bought batteries for our office yesterday. I took a picture of the receipt. It's, Hubdoc figures out it's from Guardian Drugs and the amount, and it's been pushed and reconciled already, which is amazing. I threw that piece of paper out. I never have to see it again, and it's kind of sitting nicely in Hubdoc where you can look at it. I guess one other thing I could show you is the kind of we also connect beyond accounting systems to cloud storage systems. So we support pushing documents to Box or ShareFile, Dropbox, or Google Drive. So I'm connected to Dropbox, and I know that many small businesses use that. And let's say I'll just pick one of these. So we use MailChimp, which is a email provider to send out our emails to our customers. And I'm going to say I want all these bills to go to Dropbox. I select that push to Dropbox button, and you'll see this little circling thingamabob telling us that we're now in the process of sending things to Dropbox. And I've also getting notifications from Dropbox, I'm not sure if you can see them, that are coming in and tell me that files have been added. So if I click up here and go and look at my actual Dropbox folder and go to Hubdoc, and I'm going to go to Bills and Statements and go to MailChimp, you'll see that Hubdoc is creating these documents from MailChimp, and they're now sitting on my hard drive in addition to sitting on Hubdoc and having been pushed to QBO. So in that example, lots of people want to have their quote-unquote digital filing cabinet replicated to Dropbox or Google Drive or ShareFile, and Hubdoc. The name of the company is Hubdoc, so we want to be a hub for your docs. Once they come in, we'll rename the file and then allow you to push it wherever you want to push them.
Yeah, and I think that's a great feature. I mean, a lot of people are worried about the security of their documents, and you know, if anything ever gets lost, you really never have that concern with Hubdoc because you can have it in Hubdoc, you can have it in ShareFile, you can have it in Google Drive, and you can have backups of backups of backups. And I know that I trust the security of the clouds and the infrastructure. You know, I've had background discussions with you about the level of security and encryption that you guys go through, and the backups and redundancies that you need to have for your own business, which I trust in and of itself. But then to have the further redundancy of being able to push this out to other third parties and really knowing 120% that your information will never be lost is a great asset.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the other things might be worth having a discussion about, Jamie, is which we touched on briefly, which is the email feature. Because I think that's a really powerful tool. Obviously, we're seeing more of that at vendors now, where you can actually just put in your email address and they'll email you out a copy of the receipt. Obviously, they do that at the Apple Store. You can kind of do that at Home Depot, and I think we're going to be seeing more and more of that. So that's one of the things I think is a great tool. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about how that works.
Yeah, so each Hubdoc account comes with a unique email address at app.hubdoc.com. So in this case, I'm going to go to copy that, and I'll go find a receipt that we want to send into our Hubdoc account. So there's a 407 bill, but let's see if I can find something a little bit more. Oh, I reloaded my Starbucks card, so let's use this one. I want to send that in to my Hubdoc account, and so I hit send. And then what should happen is when I go back to Hubdoc, hopefully that bill is going to be sitting inside of Hubdoc now. So you saw how easy that was, how fast it was, and now it's going through our data processing where we're going to figure out it's from Starbucks, the date, the amount, and then it'll be ready to push to your accounting platform, be it QuickBooks Online, Xero, Sage 1, whatever you want it to be.
Absolutely. And well, I know most of our clients here are on the call are independent contractors who don't have much in the way of accounts payable. But for those of our smaller businesses on the call as well, one of the recommendations that I encourage everyone to do is set up an accounts payable at yourcompany.com and forward that to the Hubdoc email address. And that way, anytime a supplier sends you a bill to be paid, it automatically gets pushed right into Hubdoc and then into QuickBooks Online or Xero without you having to do anything. So it's a really great feature.
Yeah, I mean, it's powerful to be able to automate all of those flows, right? So that you can touch documents as few times as possible and make rules based on them, right? So one of the things in Hubdoc is this idea of building a rule. So every time I see a transaction from Allstream, I'll just show it to you quickly. If I go and look at Allstream, what I'm going to find, let's see, there's Allstream. If I click on it, I can say, you know, every time I've seen a rule from a bill from Allstream, I'm going to code it as telephone and internet as QPO. I've got a tracking class and a description. And then if I want to hit this auto sync button, it means I don't even have to look at it in Hubdoc. It just automatically goes to QuickBooks Online, and it's ready to be reconciled, which is pretty powerful. This whole idea of you make a rule once, and then for all the hundreds of bills that come from that particular vendor in the future, they're always categorized in an identical way, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah, so maybe this is actually a good time to walk through the actual workflow of what a client would do sort of step by step. And I guess first thing is obviously they're going to upload their documents, whether it's coming through their cell phone, the website, one of the robots, or the email. And once it comes in here, assuming it's the first time they've ever dealt with that transaction, it goes into processing. Once it comes out of processing, if it's never seen it before, it shows up in that review tab. Correct, Jamie?
Yeah, that's right. And so these are all the documents. The review tab's kind of where you go to deal with your list of things to do. And then if you look in failed, I've only got one failed document there, so it looks like I'm not sure why it failed, but I can archive that and get rid of it. And then my failed tab's empty. And then everything that isn't in the processing, review, or failed tab sits in the archive tab, which is kind of like your filing cabinet where you put things that you've already dealt with.
Yeah, and the archive tab and the archive button is actually probably an important feature because especially if you're using that email feature, it's not uncommon for a spam email to come through or something like that that isn't relevant. And when it comes in here, you can just archive that and effectively take it out of your queue of documents to be dealt with.
Yeah, and it's obviously really easy to delete stuff with the delete button as well. So if there was a transaction that I no longer wanted, it's as simple as hitting that delete button and it's gone, or it goes into the trash folder.
Yeah, I guess I'm still overly scared of delete buttons. But yeah, I mean, the process is fairly straightforward, and like you said, it really learns from your behavior. Once you've coded a transaction once for all the Starbucks, it's going to come through correctly going forward, unless for some reason you stuck your thumb in front of the number. And that's probably one of the things that is probably most important, is getting in good habits of making sure that you're taking pictures of your receipts and snapping them and uploading them regularly, and making sure you're getting good quality receipts. So when you take that picture with your phone, have a look at it for a second. And I know there is a pause with the QuickBooks app. When you snap the picture, you can either retake it or you can accept it. And I have been guilty myself of just accepting it without making sure that it's a clear document. Sort of best practices are making sure that you look at that document, that it's not blurry, obviously, number one, and number two, that it's also got all the fields that you need to track. It's really easy to snap a picture and cut off the top of the receipt that might have the vendor name, or the bottom of the receipt that maybe has the total. So making sure that you're getting a good quality image so that the OCRing robots can actually do their job.
Yeah, thanks for that plug, Andrew. We've seen a lot of bad photographers over the years who, I don't know, it feels like they've put coffee on their receipts or folded them 100 times. But yeah, the easiest thing to do, the easiest habit to get into is the second you get it to just take it and throw the receipt in the garbage is what I do.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean that's a nice and powerful thing, because I know a lot of our clients really find the accounting and bookkeeping overwhelming, because they'll put those receipts in a pile, and that pile will grow and grow and grow, and the bigger the pile gets, the less likely they are to do the work.
Exactly. My wife is an independent contractor, and I've set her up with a Hubdoc account to grab her bank statements or Procom invoices and reports, and she's like super tech forward, but not kind of afraid of accounting, and she's gotten used to this idea of every time there's a receipt, just forward it to Hubdoc or take a picture with her phone. So if Pam can do it, I'm sure everyone on the call can figure it out as well.
So we do have a question from the audience as well here, Jamie, about whether Hubdoc trims the receipt. I don't believe it does it?
No, we don't. We do not. So I think that Guardian bill, I might have used our scanner in the office instead of, because it's a longer receipt than, rather than taking a picture with my mobile phone. So I'll try and find one which was taken with my phone. Where are we here? Feels like I haven't taken one with my phone in a while. It's going to happen. Go Air should be one of the phone ones. Oh, no. Taboola there. So we bought lunch for the team. I would have taken a picture with our mobile phone, and I'm having some internet connection problems here. So, but there's the actual bill, which is a classic example of not great receipt photography, but it looks like, I think if I had to show that to CRA, they'd probably accept it as valid.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, the reality is, had this gone into your pile of receipts, next thing you know, the top is missing from the bottom, from the middle, and you wouldn't be able to process it. But by actually dealing with it right then and there on the spot, the information has been tracked and processed correctly. And one of the things I think, actually looking at this photo, this brings up another good habit, is oftentimes from restaurants or certain vendors, you're going to get like the Visa or credit card receipt, as well as the detailed line item receipt. And I think, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, the best practice is to line them up side by side like you've got here and snap them together as one document, correct?
Yeah, totally. So my habit is to always take the credit card receipt and the actual hard receipt and together, but I think in practice, in a CRA audit situation, you're going to be fine with either one of those. But the core answer is the credit card receipt on the left doesn't show the HST that you paid, so it doesn't prove that you paid it. And so if you look over on the right side, you'll see the actual proof that $34.73 in HST was paid. Of course, this was a meal, so only half of that is eligible, but that's why we pay Andrew to do his good work for us and tell us how to sort all that stuff out.
Yeah, and the other thing I will actually mention is, believe it or not, both wouldn't be considered valid supporting documentation. The Visa receipt on the left isn't going to be considered a valid source document, like you said, because it's missing some of those key pieces of information. It doesn't have the line item detail, and it doesn't have the GSE HST number. So by definition, that makes that receipt not a valid supporting documentation, but still important to have. And like I say, you want to have the two sort of side by side when you can. If for whatever reason you can only snap one photo because you've got no room on your cell phone memory or something, then the one you want to capture is the detailed line item receipt, which is sort of the one or the two on the right.
Indeed. Andrew, is there anything else you'd like to see from Hubdoc today as I put it through its paces, or have you basically got what you were looking for?
Yeah, I think I've got what I'm looking for. Maybe we could just slowly walk through the data entry screen a little bit more to show them how that works. So if you just click your little pencil button on the right.
I'll just show you the Starbucks example, and again, let's say I don't want to go through the time of waiting for Hubdoc to extract it. So I'm going to choose a vendor, and it's going to be, I'm hoping I have Starbucks as one of my vendors. So there's Starbucks, and if I look on the date of it, it was the 16th of May. I can enter the date. Here I could enter the due date or the invoice number. The amount is 25 Canadian, and it doesn't look like there's any HST on this Starbucks card reload. So I'm going to mark that as tax exempt, and then when I published it to QBO, I've already got a rule for Starbucks to treat it as a purchase. It's meals and entertainment, and I just group everything under this meals Canadian vendor, and it's going on my Visa card, and I could publish that and send that transaction to QuickBooks Online.
Yeah, and I know we've got both QBO users and Zero users on the line, so maybe we can take a look at the Zero one, because there are some subtle differences, and one of the things I like about the Zero one is pushing it as, rather than as a draft, as an approved transaction. That way you don't have to go into Zero and then approve it before it'll match to the bank statement line item. So it's another important thing to note.
That is a good point. So you can send it over as a spend money transaction or a purchase. It can go as draft or authorized. And again, then you just select the account code and the contact and push it over.
Yeah, and this is important because when you get those transactions that the system hasn't seen, so the first couple times that you're in here, when you go to the review tab, most of the data is going to be captured already as far as the vendor, the amount, the date, but we still have to pick a code, and we have to sort of choose our destinations and publish the document. And as long as we click that auto sync, it'll publish those types of transactions again in the future. But that is part of the process that has to be gone in the first time that you're seeing a receipt from a vendor. So you're going to always come in and have a look at your items for review. And when you click on the items for review, you'll click that little button on the right to pull up the data to ensure it's correct, and then choose your destination that you're going to publish it to. In addition, if for whatever reason the image in the middle of the screen is a little bit small, you can click the PDF button at the top of the screen, and you'll get a full screen image of the PDF that shows up in a separate window. So if you're on multiple monitors, you can push that to one window and do the data entry from another. So that's giving you like a full-size PDF that you can use, rotate and spin it around and zoom in and do all the things that you can do with PDF. So that's an important thing to note, obviously, and just making sure that you're doing this on a regular basis and clearing your documents for review, because there'll almost always be at least a couple in there. And while Hubdoc is an amazing tool that reduces a lot of the data entry, it's an 80-20 thing. It's taking care of 80% of the data entry, but it doesn't mean it's 100% gone. There's still work to review and approve and make sure that those transactions are flowing through to whatever financial management software that you're using, whether that's QuickBooks Online or Xero. So that's an important step to make sure that you're doing on a regular basis. And the more often that you do it, the less onerous it is, and the smarter the system is as well.
Indeed.
Now, is there anyone else have anyone from the audience have any questions that they want to post? I think we were scheduled for an hour, but I think we're probably good at wrapping up unless anyone has any other questions. And maybe I should unmute everybody just in case. So, yeah. So it looks, Jamie, I think we're wrapped up.
That's great, Andrew.
If anyone does send across any questions, I'll do my best to answer them and turn them over to you if I can. We've recorded this session, as I mentioned earlier, so I'm going to be posting this up to the CA4IT website. We're going to try and create a landing page dedicated to you guys and the tool. So any insights or tips or any things that you might like to see us add to that, that would be great. One of the other things for those clients who are on the call and want more information, I've been talking to Jamie about gathering some of the great tools that they have and putting together a campaign through our CRM system. So anyone who's interested, just let us know and we can put you on that campaign so you're getting more information about Hubdoc and how it works and all the great features it's got.
Awesome. I appreciate everyone's attention and time today. And if anyone has any questions, I can be reached at jamiem@hubdoc.com. That's JAMIEM at Hubdoc. And happy to help out, and would love it if you guys use Hubdoc together with Andrew and his firm.
Great. Well, thanks again, Jamie. A real honor to have you on the call. And we'll keep you posted on the web page when we load it up.
All right, sounds great.
Okay, bye for now.